Welcome to the channel. This is Geauxgreddy, and welcome to the 2021 FIA Nations Exhibition Season, round number 3. Tonight, we are at Interlagos, and we're in the Super Formula cars. So, let's see if the field of Gran Turismo Sport amateur drivers can take turn 1 better than our pros in F1 can in Mexico City. But to find out, you're going to have to stick around. Let's go see. All right, but before we get to that start that I know you're waiting on, let's get to the qualifier. Qualifier, very, very important, of course, as to your starting position. And as I'm going to start my qualifying lap, I set a nice distance between me and Jimbo Racer there and get on that overtake button. You can see blinking right there in the bottom right-hand corner. Get on that overtake button coming down this straight. And my hope is to get close enough to Jimbo Racer at the end of the lap to be able to pick up a little slipstream on the straight, but I am absolutely sucking him in right now. I don't know if he forgot about the overtake button or what, but I actually get into the back of him as we head into the Senna S. He gets on the brakes a little bit earlier than I am, plus I picked up his slipstream, and I get an SR down for that bit of dirty driving there. Well, now I'm in the dirty air for this lap, not what I want at all. This is not going to be a very good lap for me. As I caught him as I was coming to the start-finish line. So I do end up crossing the line there. I made a few mistakes on the lap. Ended up with an abysmal 15.721. I can run that kind of time with no overtake. So exit, head back out for a second try. Got some clean air this time. As I come out the corner, I get on the overtake button right away. But unfortunately, I don't know what I was doing. I went into 4th gear there as I hit the overtake button. I also shifted. Little mistake, not terrible as the lap hasn't started yet, so all I'm doing is trying to get a top speed as I cross the finish line. Going 190 as I cross the line there. Get on the brakes, going to the Senna S. Want to hang it all the way on the inside of the corner, get on the gas and hold it flat through the Senna S. Do so nicely. I want to cut down some distance here, hold it really tight on that curb, and let her drift to the outside as we come around towards the double left-handers here at Interlagos, the downhill double lefts. Get on the brakes right after the driveway, lay it in the corner, get on the gas a little bit late there, a little timid there, could have been a little more on that ragged edge going down through those double left-handers, but failed to do so. Here you just want a light bit of braking and set yourself up exiting the corner to get on the brakes. Cut a good bit of this corner. I actually came in here way too hot, as you can see the car spinning and skidding, so I lost maybe a 10th or 2 there. Try to get on the gas early to make up for it. Folks, you can never make up lost time on a racetrack. And unfortunately, rear wheels light up on me. So heavy on the overtake, heading towards the final turn. Go through it and a little timid on the throttle coming out after I spun up the tires before. And I run out of overtake. I practiced this before. You could do a whole lap just holding the overtake button down. So I don't know if they just give you a tiny bit less than in the practice races or what, but regardless, qualify with a 1:15, 1:58. Definitely not my best lap time, but it's going to have to do. So when all the dust settled, that was going to be good for a P5 to start the race. Unfortunately, putting me on the outside of turn 1 going into the Senna S. So as the nation's intro rolls here, we will go over the strategies. Now, the soft and medium tire compounds are allowed in this race, but the tire multiplier, I believe, was right around 9. So you had pretty high tire wear, so you're going to have to get off these soft tires if you start on them around lap 9, 10, or even if you're crazy enough, stretch them out to 11. Possibility as well. Or you can start on the mediums, get off of them on lap 9, 10, or 11, switch over to the softs. Now, I rolled the dice pretty hard here, and I decided to start the race on the medium tires in case there's any craziness on lap 1. I don't lose the best meat of the tire in, wild bumper-to-bumper racing heading through turn 1 and around lap 1, lap 2. So, get here on the grid, and plenty of stuff to do, things running through your mind as you're getting ready for the start. You got to set your e-brake. You're thinking about the lights, you're thinking about the throttle, you're thinking about traction control. So I want my brake balance there too. I'm on traction control 1, waiting for the lights, got my e-brake on, throttle up, lights go out, get on the gas, wait for it to hook up, then I get on to the overtake button. P1 had a false start. So heading down the middle here, gonna brake just before the bridge, practice my braking beforehand, works out. I get outside and alongside, but I'm in a sandwich there with P3. P4 goes wide, comes back on the track, gains like 200 yards in front of us because I was in a little bit of a sandwich there, heading down through the S's, Now I am in the slipstream of Ford Fairlane, heading towards the double lefts. I've got Jimbo Racer on my tail. Cantilever makes a little bit of a mistake there going down through the S's. They're side by side, heading here into the double right-handers. Ford Fairlane out in front a little bit, so I decided to go behind Cantilever, but then it looks like Fairlane's going to try and squeeze down in, so I make the smart life decision. I pull out right there. I do not want to get in an accident here at the beginning of this race this close to P2. You know, in fact, I can ride this out to lap number 12 if I'm going to hang out this close to P2, and I can make a move later in the race. I'm not too concerned about it now here in the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 laps. This is not the time to be pressing too hard for this close to the competition. All right, so heading into the last corner, get on the brakes nicely there, down into second gear, come out, and we are in the slipstream of P3. You can see there, but P5 in the slipstream of me. I need to break the slip to P5. No idea what tires P5 is on, or 6 or 7 on down the list. I do know P1 is somewhere in the back, and he'll probably be coming up later on in the race. So important to have a good center S here. Coming hot. The slipstream didn't account for it. Getting to the back of Ford Fairlane CJ once again, and that cost me time as that put P5 right on my rear bumper. Now, he has overtake. I want to save overtake for later in the race and to just kind of, make some hotter laps here. He looks down the inside, but he wasn't coming in like too hard on me there, so I took a gamble and stayed outside. Worked out for me. I was able to take the corner quick. He lost some time through that section of corner by peeking down on the inside. Now I've got to turn my attention back towards P3, try to catch up back to him, get back firmly into a slipstream for this long straight coming up. Do so through that set of corners, go real nice and tight through here, get on the throttle nice and early and smooth, just trying to stay within that 3/4 of a second. He goes wide here into this tight right-hander, and that allows me once again to stay well within his slipstream as we come out, heading towards the final turn. And I'm going to use just a little bit of boost as I'm coming out of this corner to make sure I stay in there. Now, you can see Jimbo Racer right behind me now. He is now, as you can see, out of the slipstream. He is almost a second back. Argusa in Alabama right behind him. So, tight battle here on lap 2, heading towards lap 3. This time I actually brake at the right spot, not to hit Ford Fairlane CJ in front of me. Come out of the center S into the left-hander and then in the long straight. Looking good on lap 3. Now, Jimbo Racer did catch up to us a little bit there going through the center S, but he is again fallen out of the slip. As I wonder if Argusa in Alabama isn't pressing him a little bit. We got a 3-car pack behind us battling for P5, which works out well for me and P3 in front of me, as we are just going to focus in front of us and try and catch up to Cantilever, which is not going to be an easy task. I actually was in a practice lobby with Cantilever, and I knew he was very quick. In fact, quite a bit quicker than I was. He was finishing 15 to 20 seconds faster than me over the entire course of the race. So I was pretty sure Cantilever was just going to scramble off into the distance. So really my race was with Ford Fairlane CJ and Argusa in Alabama and whoever was behind him who may have had a bad qualifying lap and may come up later in the race. So as we come towards the final straight, you can look once again. I had pulled 3 seconds on Argusa in Alabama. So feeling very secure with my position here in P4, but unfortunately, Ford Fairlane CJ has pulled a little bit of gap on me as he is just on the edge of slipstream, able to kind of get back into it coming down the center S's. And really, I should probably hammer the overtake here, but again, didn't want to waste it in case I needed it later in the race. All right, so anyway, on to lap number 10 here. If we look down at my tires, it is they look okay, but I want to get off of them a lap early because, like I said, I'm only a second and a half behind Cantilever, being kind of rubber banding back and forth a little bit during this part of the race. So I'm thinking if I can get a really good undercut on him, I might be able to get out in front of him for the second half of the race. So I jump in the pits 1 lap earlier than I was kind of thinking about doing. So I come in on lap 10. Softs are usually only good for 9 laps, but in a race like this, you never know. Now, more importantly, Nightly Sarcasm and Impatient Meteor were on soft tires, so they're going to be coming out on the mediums. Argusa in Alabama and myself on the mediums, as well as Cantilever. So Cantilever is going to come out on the soft tires, as well as me. Impatient Meteor, who started in P1, he was actually on the soft, so he's going to come out on the mediums. Now, he was really catching up to us at the latter half of the race there. So definitely got to keep an eye on him, but luckily I am on the softer compound to come out in the second half of the race. So super important on this out lap to stay out in front of Impatient Meteor on his fresh mediums and try and put in a really solid lap to really get the boost of the undercut on Ford Fairlane CJ, who will be coming in potentially at the end of this lap. So far so good. Again, a little bit hot into this corner. I had a little tendency to brake late there, but coming out, you can see how much I've already reeled in that P9 driver in front of me. Coming into this right-hander, I'm starting to get a little concerned because I'm like, is he going to be in my way for the final turn? But don't have to worry about that as he gets on the loud pedal too quick, sends it into Barry R. Not going to be good for his race results. But however, he is out of my way now. Jump on third gear, hit that overtake button, and you can see Ford Fairlane jumping in the pits right now along with Hookah. They are both on the medium tires, so they will be coming out on the soft compound tires, same compound that I am on. So Ford Fairlane CJ should be coming out right next to me as we come down through the Santa S. You will be able to see his car coming right there to the left side on the barrier. It is going to be very close as he comes out of the pit with myself coming down the straight. There he is. Now, I should have been probably nailing that overtake button, and I may have been able to get in front of him. I don't know why I didn't think about it. I just completely forgot about it. But I don't press it too hard. He gives me room. You saw that. He went in the corner pretty tight. He left me room on the outside. So good, clean driving there by Ford Fairlane CJ when it really wasn't necessary. That was his corner. I was nowhere near being alongside him there. So I go ahead and let him stay out front, get into the rear of him just a little bit there. Again, that's the spot I tended to brake a little late on. All right, heading towards this last sector of the track, you can see I'm out of the slipstream of Ford Fairlane CJ, and Impatient Meteor is now in mine. We get along a back marker. He loses control just like the previous back marker did on lap 12, probably on the medium tires. So, however, he now ends up between me and Impatient Meteor, who did start on pole and who did have that false start check, who's been working his way back up the field towards us. So a little bit of a lucky break for me right there on lap 12 as Impatient Meteor gets held up by that back marker, who I'm certain is going to slide into the pits now, which he does, coming off of those medium tires, going to try and head back out on the soft. So down through the Santa S here on lap 13, my goal is to try and track down Ford Fairlane CJ and try to hold back the hard-charging Impatient Meteor, who is on the harder compound tire than myself on the back half of the race. Can it be done? Absolutely it can. He was pretty quick out there. But we're going to see if he can make up that 8 tenths, and we'll see if I can't make up that full tenth that I have between me and Ford Fairlane CJ before race end. It's a big task, but I'm gonna put it in and do all I can. So fast forward here on to lap 19, and no, I did not. Gap opens up to 2.6 seconds between me and Ford Fairlane CJ. He was just quicker than I was on those soft tires. Impatient Meteor was not as fast on the medium tires. He falls back 3 seconds as I come down through the final lap. And this is never an easy lap, as we found out in race 1 here of the exhibition season when I lost it on the curb on the final lap and lost that podium position, fell back to like P7 or P8, can't remember what the final position was. But so you can't be slow because I got Impatient Meteor right there behind me, 3 seconds, so I can't do anything too foolish. And I want to stay close enough to Ford Fairlane CJ so if he makes a mistake, I can overtake him. Now, I've got a few more corners left, and the rear tires get a little slippery here. And if you get on the gas too early, very easy to spin out. This is one of those corners that you can easily lose it on. So you can see I slowly roll in the throttle there, making sure I don't light up those rear tires and send the back end in front of the front end. And this, the final turn, able to come through clean. So all I got to do is head down the long straight here at Interlagos, and I'll grab a P4. And I'll take that P4 because I tell you what, this was not a race I thought I was going to do well on. And so I'm extremely happy with this result at Interlagos in the Super Formula. Hope you enjoyed that race. If you did, hit the like and or subscribe. Come back, check out some more of the action. For myself, Geauxgreddy, y'all have a great evening. DJ Clean, take us out of here.